Our video.
We're done here. I have a few questions for you about setting up the meeting to talk CC and stuff and a couple things like that. Get time afterwards.
Yeah, we'll have executive session. Should have time.
So just to kind of explain a couple things real quick before we get started. We have two meetings this evening. The first one is going to be the Board of Adjustment meeting, and then the second one is the City Council meeting. The board, for the Board of Adjustment, is the same council, just so you're aware. But if we have to have legally two separate meetings. Don't want anyone to get confused, because it can be confusing. I don't think so.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty live on it.
Almost. We are.
All right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have one more speaker.
Sorry, we're sitting in the wrong location.
Board of Adjustment meeting?
Yes.
First person?
Ryan Hayes, H-A-Y-E-S.
There being a quorum present, this Board of Adjustment of the City of Howe is hereby called to order on Tuesday, April 21, 2026 at 6:01 p.m. under the Open Meetings Act of the State of Texas. If you will, please remove your hats and silence your cell phones, and let's stand for the invocation.
Father, we just thank you for the opportunity to come together as council. And the city, Lord, we just ask that you be with us in the decisions made here, that we make what's best for the city, Lord. We just ask that you be with all of us here. In your precious name we pray.
Amen. And now for our pledges. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for the Texas.
Honor the Texas flag.
I
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. Please be seated. As I've mentioned, just for our viewers, we do have two meetings this evening. The first one is the Board of Adjustment meeting, and then after that Board of Adjustment meeting, we will move into our City Council meeting. But everyone on both boards are the same people, but we have to have two separate meetings. All right. So we will now move into citizen comment time. And I do have a few individuals who wish to speak. And we do have, you're allowed 2 minutes to speak. As long as you're on point, I probably won't cut you off if you go past your 2 minutes. But if you will, when I call your name, just come up and stand up front, speak to the little microphone so our viewers online can hear you. And if you will, state your first name and first and last name and your address. So the first one I'm going to call on is Ryan.
I'm here to address the 1549 Timber Creek.
Yes, sir. That's our Board of Adjustment meeting right now.
Okay, very good. Excellent. So we came to you guys a month ago, give or take, to discuss adding a cupola to the house. That was one of the issues that we knew we were trying to get this shop in compliance with the ordinances. One of the big outstanding issues was the carport on the front of it because it projected past the front of the house. So we went ahead and took that off. So we wanted to basically present and see if we could get a variance on the height of the structure. I believe the main structure, well, this is going to be an attached building to the house, so it's going to be classified. It will eventually be part of the main structure.
We have a photo just so you're aware.
Yeah, perfect, good. The carport is gone, but I want to see if we can work on a variance on height. Just that way, we can try to get this thing in compliance with you guys and move forward with this project and get it cleaned up. So it's been sitting in this state since November of last year, and that's not good for the neighbors, it's not good for anybody. So that is kind of where we are, and I wanted to see if that is something that you guys would okay.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it. Dana? If you will, please state your first and last name and your address, please.
Okay. My name's Dana Nixon, and I live at 1534 Timber Creek Drive. I have lived in that neighborhood for over 35 years. And my desire tonight is to make an effort to keep the integrity of our neighborhood. It's primarily homes that are small to mid-size, and this structure is, it's not in any way consistent with the other homes in the neighborhood. The city's ordinance and the Texas local government code require both the finding of unnecessary hardship in order to approve a variance. And I don't believe this request meets that threshold. There is no special condition to the lot or the structure that currently exists. And in addition, that they have to prove that the hardship is not one that was created by the applicant. That was clearly the case here. This request was a direct result of the failure to go in, get the permits required, have them reviewed, and at that point you're given the opportunity to review comments and get them addressed where they'll be in compliance with the neighborhood. On March 17th, this board considered a request to the height requirement. It was considered and denied. The ordinance language currently states for a similar request to be reapplied for, the board cannot accept a proposal for any new application of similar nature until 12 months after the date of the board denial. In this case, that was last month. So it was surprising to me when I saw the same thing posted again for consideration this evening. It's my assertion that not only are they similar in nature, they're basically the same. Both requests are for the height of the structure. I went in Friday afternoon, I've discussed these things with your city administrator in hopes that it could have been addressed before I came here today. I don't enjoy having to do this. I don't enjoy neighbors being pitted against one another. I don't think it's good for the neighborhood. However, I was told at that time I had concerns about the reapplication. I also had concerns about the fact property owners did not be notified about the request. After he consulted with the city attorney, I was then told that those were gray matters and that notification wasn't required. That was only in the case of an appeal. I did some additional research, and the language does say that the board can consider upon appeal a variance request. I would like to go ahead and note that in 2009, that's the language in the 2001 ordinance. In the 2009 ordinance that was amending that, they changed that language to read variance, not appeal. That notification is required for a variance. They also then added, kind of upgraded the notification to property owners. And in that case, not only is it by mail, it's by certified mail at this point. That did not occur. In addition, there has been an amendment to the zoning ordinance that now addresses exterior construction. I think that could also be a concern with the structure. The size and height of this structure is better suited for a commercial zoning district, and it's out of place in our neighborhood. Well, it's been previously stated that this was going to be for personal use only. I think just the size and height should raise concerns of unauthorized uses in the future that are then going to have to be addressed. Should you determine that they're not eligible for reapplication this evening, I'm asking that enforcement start taking place to get it back into compliance. Because as Mr. Hayes said, It's not good. It's not good for the neighborhood. It has been that way since November. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Tom Lowery. Again, if you'll state your first and last name and address for.
I'm Tom Lowery, and I live at 1536 Timber Creek. I've been there 28 years. The only concern, one of the concerns, well, I have a few concerns, but I guess my main concern is this building that's being put up. Is it going to be commercial, or are we talking personal? Because personal, it's a pretty good sized building. If I wanted to live in a commercial area, I would move 28 years ago to a commercial area, you know? So, and I've known in the past, or I've seen in the past, I might say, I've seen several cars parked on both sides of the street, in front of that property and right across the street from that property with for sale signs. And so that kind of struck me, because every time I was going home, I would look at one of the signs and, oh, let's see what he's asking for that one, what he's asking for this one, you know. Not that I was going to buy one, it was just curiosity at that point with me. And then I started thinking, well, you know, this guy's got a pretty good business. Is he buying cars and fixing them up and reselling them? But then when I saw this building pop up, I thought, oh, well, this guy's in business for himself and this and that and the other. So, and I may be totally wrong here, but these are my thoughts, and I'm thinking, so my question that I would like to have answered at some point is it going to be for personal use? Working out of a commercial building? Do you need a building that big if it's just going to keep your lawnmower in it? You know, so I mean, that's what I kind of look at, you know, so other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank
it. Brenda Wilson.
Yes, I'm Brenda Wilson, and I'm 1539 Timber Creek. And like my constituents that live in the neighborhood, I also have a concern about it being a shop. I was an auto body painter for 8 years, and I worked in many a shop. And the height alone was my concern. I thought we had a business instead of a garage going into the neighborhood. And so that's my main concern with the issue. So that's really all I have to say about it, because I would like to know whether it's a business or a garage. If it's a garage, it just doesn't look like the height requirements.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just so y'all are aware, the council, we cannot address questions right now. That's the reason we're not talking, okay? All right. All right, so we'll move on to our current business, and we have our first action item is discuss, consider, and act upon the minutes of the meeting for March 17, 2026. Does the council wish to discuss those minutes for the meeting? If not, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Ricky makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Sean is going to make that second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Action item number 2, discuss, consider, and act upon the variance request for property at 1549 Timber Creek, Howe, Texas, property ID 152072, Timber Creek Edition, Block 2, Lot 2, 100 by 150. So this property was presented before the Board of Adjustment last month. However, the board did not approve that request at that time, which was for an addition of a cupola. This month, the property owners are requesting a new variance hearing on the height of the shop. The new structure is 4 foot taller than the home. Now, before we move into discussion on that item, the ordinance number 528, I'm going to read to you, section 33, and Monty, correct me if I'm wrong at any time, 332.3. It reads, Limitations on reapplications. When the board has denied a proposal, no new applications of similar nature shall be accepted by the board or scheduled for 12 months after the date of the board denial. Applications which have been withdrawn at or before the board meeting may be submitted at the time for hearing before the board. So, we need the council to decide, or excuse me, not the council, we need the Board of Adjustment to decide if you believe this item is of similar nature. We need to
As the last one.
we need to decide that, the board needs to decide if they believe this particular item on the agenda for today is of similar nature like the one from last month. And if so, then the board would have to deny the variance request.
So you wouldn't be able to hear it.
We wouldn't be able to hear
If
it.
it's of similar nature, you wouldn't be able to hear
Okay,
the variance.
all right. So that's just it, right? It's just, we need to just, the council needs to, or the board needs to decide whether it's a,
Yes, if you decide it's of similar nature,
if you believe it's new.
if you believe it's of similar nature than the hearing last month, then you do not hear the variance. If you decide that it's a separate issue than last month, then you can make a decision based upon what is presented.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense.
So I'm going to open this up for discussion for the council.
It would be pertaining to the same height base, or height related, am I correct? Is that the, from last month to this month, would it be?
It depends on, and Dana mentioned the gray area there. It depends on whether this board believes that a cupola, adding a cupola to add height to the existing structure is related to now the variance of 4 foot of that being the height that is above the structure. So you've got, you as a board have to determine, are these two matters related in similar nature, or are they two separate filings as submitted? I know they're going to state that one was for a cupola for the structure, and this one is separate because it's dealing with the shop. The opposition is going to say, Dana has already mentioned that she believes the cupola is related to the shop height. So that is what the board is going to have to make a determination on. And if you believe that they're two separate items and they're not related, then you can hear the variance.
And Ryan is here representing the family.
Yes.
So, for the property owner, and so if the board has questions, you're welcome to ask questions.
Shouldn't the questions be asked after we determine if it's a valid variance? I'm not allowed to ask questions until we decide that, right?
Some of the questions, I'm sorry, what was your name? Tom?
Tom?
He had some concerns about what's the intended use. I think those are questions that maybe he could address.
I think I'm just saying, because if you first have to decide if you feel like this is of similar nature or if this is a new item. And so if you have questions to try to come to that conclusion, I just want to open the floor up to you to ask those questions.
Can we determine that in the back room between the three of us?
I would have to call an executive session, I think.
The board could go to executive session at any point. You just have to make a motion.
What would be the legal reason does it meet the qualifications that apply to executive sessions? It's not personnel, you've got a list of about 5 reasons. What's the reason? How are you qualifying, I guess, is what I'm asking. How are you qualifying for executive?
For an executive session? Well, and really, I want to tell you, to be honest with you, Board of Adjustment, did we have that on the agenda, Monty? For
It's
the,
under the
I
Open
think you
Meetings
do.
Act.
yeah,
No, it's under the Open Meetings Act, that you can adjourn into executive session anytime. Let me place a phone call real quick.
Okay.
We'll get the answer to that.
sorry for the delay. We'd rather do this right. So you're aware, he's calling our city attorney to find out legally what we can do or cannot do.
Does awkward silence go into the minutes?
We are being recorded.
We don't have any music to follow to, do we?
Right, I want to see the spot that says 2 minutes, awkward
Play
silence.
for a little bit.
Jeopardy song.
That would be pretty good if you had some elevator music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's speakers in here. We could-
I've got a brother speaker over here, we can start with the music.
We could make that happen. We could make that happen. Or hire a DJ for the awkward silence moment.
Ironically, one of my officers plays in the band.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, how do you?
Yeah, they have to hard on like it, obviously.
Okay.
you
I love
still-
it.
All right, so go ahead, Monty.
You can move into executive session if it is to consult with your attorney under 551-071.
So since the attorney isn't present,
He's available if needed.
gotcha.
So 71.
That's a short-term memory now. 551-071.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it up to
I make a
y'all.
motion, we go into executive.
Okay. All right, so,
You gotta have a second. You gotta have a second.
okay. So Ed is making a motion for us to go into executive session to have consultation with our attorney. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Sean is making a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. So, Meetings Act, Government Code Chapter 551.071. Chapters, subchapters D and E. Before any closed meeting is convened, the presiding officer will publicly identify the section or sections of the act authorizing the closed meeting. Monty, I have to identify a subsection?
Just to consult with the attorney is
Okay.
what I was getting.
Consultation with attorney, that's
Yes.
what it is. Sorry. So we will now go into executive session and the time is 6:23 p.m.
I've got a lot of that, ABC, Wednesday.
Nice, see, I've been missing those lately.
So I, Yes.
So you're
No, I just started every time I was meeting for us.
Like young kids.
We actually were, planning to go to mission event, and then we get out of the Outlaws try to get her in so early. But then we were all like, these are best friends, and you're older and started.
So it's like, my buddy's going.
Yeah, but then we were like, she's a kid. Now, last Saturday, came home in the afternoon, and the dogs out front in the gymnasium that you guys have, and I watched their dog drag their 8-year-old son down to the ground and start dragging him down that field, and had their other siblings come and pull the dog off of them. I don't know if you guys have actually looked into this issue at all, but I'm deeply concerned that something bad is going to end up happening very soon. And I feel like the city needs to do something about it before something serious happens.
Can I ask, did you report this to our police, this last incident?
No, it just happened. I'm coming to the city council to address it to everybody, so everybody can be aware of it.
Okay, so, Chief, does he need to?
I've actually given him my card and my cell number, and I haven't heard from him, so some of the things that he is bringing my attention to movie, but I certainly will look into it. When you're seeing issues, that thing being done, please call 911 so we can get officers to do it.
I'm trying to stay out of it. I mean, honestly, I've already had threats to my home on that point, but I feel like, yes, this is my way of letting you guys know an issue that is occurring, and I don't think it should just be a call to you guys. It should be available to everybody so that they know what's actually going on.
But I can't address the issue when it's being happening if I don't know when it's work. I only have so many officers on per shift, and we can't sit there and notice the entire neighborhood.
No, I know.
So if there's a concern that you have for the public, then call 911 so we can address it promptly.
Well, that's why I called last time. I mean,
And we arrested them a couple times over there. So, you know, I'll be more than glad to look into it because I am concerned with the things that you shared this afternoon.
okay.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it. Mr. Candelabra, you want to speak as well, sir?
Good evening. I'm Kent Lauer, and I'm here on behalf of Connections Park, which is at 517 Bed Area in Howe, Texas. And I'll say, so we're excited that the park is complete and ready to open to our community. And I wanted to address y'all about a particular topic for the splash pad specifically. I think that when we actually entered into the agreement that the mayor may be the only elected official that was on the council at that time. And so a little bit of background information I think is good to know for one of the agenda items we have later coming up. So in our initial concept plan, we did have a splash pad included with the park. We had to make the decision to not go forward with the splash pad. I want a little bit about when and why we made that decision. So in early 2024, when we were moving forward and going to get updated quotes and costs on everything, it was clear that the cost had increased. In general, cost increased to the point that it wouldn't fit the budget, and we had to make smart decisions. And so we ended up making the decision to take the splash pad out, and so the Connections Park, it's got something in there for everyone in all ages. And the splash pad and the playground are roughly for the same age group. And the splash pad is limited to the number of months out of the year because of the weather. So we didn't want to take it out, but that was a decision that we had to make at that time. So when we submitted the detailed plans to the city in April of 2024, then at that point, there was not a splash pad in the plans. It didn't move forward. At that point. Yeah. So look, it's not there, right? So the question we get now is there going to be a splash pad? And our answer right now is we hope so. We are very hopeful. We've not been working on a splash pad at all in planning or anything. We've been focused on getting the park completed and ready to be conveyed on that. Right now, we don't know until we get it conveyed. With current costs and everything, at that point we can see how much money we've got left. But also, if we were to move forward with a splash pad, that would require a different agreement with the city, because everything's going to be different now because the city's going to own the property, whereas foundation, it owns the property now and during the current construction and everything. So I do want to say, take a moment here, a little bit louder than much, to express our board, our board and park board, appreciation to all the people, businesses, and organizations that have contributed to building this fine park. There's been thousands of volunteer hours from hundreds of different people. We've had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of material services and money donated towards Connections Park. And we were blessed to have this extraordinary group of contractors that not only break on what they were contracted to do, they were all committed to the park for the long term and would do things beyond what they were contracted to do, where they would say, hey, it's over here, we need to after that or whatever. So it's a great experience for those people. Most of them are happy people. We were very fortunate. Most of them are contractors Howe people. Then our major partners, City of Howe, Howe ISD, Texas Community Foundation, and several ventures, never wavered one bit through all this time to do get the park done. And I want to express a personal appreciation to the park board members who persevered and stayed focused on this mission for 7+ years, which is a little hard to imagine, but that's what it turned out. All right, so we're hopeful that the park will open soon, and thank you all in advance for that really good effort. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to move on to our announcements real quick. I'm going to make this quick. We do have some important dates and events coming up, especially in the month of May. I encourage everyone to visit the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce website. They also have a Facebook page for details on these events. Also want to mention that Repark, the new playground equipment, was actually delivered today, and the company who's installing it, and so installation should be happening soon. So much sooner than we had anticipated. Very excited about that. And then we'll move on to our consent items. City side consensus of non-controversial housekeeping items required by law. Items to be considered individually by any council member making such request prior to a motion and vote on the consent items. Any items the council member wishes to request to be voted on separately will be moved to bottom of the action item. So 1, discuss, consider, and act upon the following consent items. A, minutes of the regular city council meeting, March 17, 2026. B, bills being paid for month. C, detailed check register report. D, statement of revenue and expenditures. E, South State Bank secure deposits, March 2026. F, recap and standings, March 2026. G, investment report, March 2026. Does the council have any discussion on any of these items? And if not, do I have a motion?
My motion to approve.
Sean makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ricky's making a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Motion passes. Moving on to our discussion items, departmental reports. Public Safety Director, Chief Sullivan.
Before we started, I'd like to take a moment to recognize DVRT2. We had accident for some assistance for some child seats so that we can have a special event. We have our Founders Day in our office, and we've asked our citizens for those that are less fortunate to replace some. So greatly appreciate it, sir. I can't express enough to give it above and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that being said, for the first time since October 24, which is when I came here, we've had a decrease in call volume. However, we've had an increase in more aggressive calls, and so we're looking at our data and trying to determine what we can do to address that. We saw a 17% decrease in call volume for March 26. We saw almost a 50% increase in aggravated crime, which Park crimes or assaults, fatal weapons and weaponry. With our traffic enforcement, we also saw a decrease in accidents, which unfortunately we didn't have entirely accidental in March. That was in part to do for driving getting rid. Excuse me.
So, with that being said, we completed 65 hours of training. Our staffing, we still have open positions that we're working on filling. We wrote 282 citations and 184 warnings. During the month of March, there were 10 new cases involving code enforcement, follow-up investigations from previous months. We're still holding 4.3 on our citizen survey as it relates to the officers and their citations. On March 19th, we held our first round of meeting with our apartment complexes. We have 100% attendance, including the mayor, so thank you very much, Mayor. We had some great discussions on ways to make our community safer. One of the things I look at when I'm looking at it as our apartment community, we have to decrease not only quality, but also see a decrease in criminal activity. So those partnerships work, and we continue to try to roll those. So for fire and EMS, we had a total of 44 calls, 600 vehicle accidents, 5 grass fires. 2 of those being in the city. We had 1 mutual aid. We had mutual aid from 3 other cities, which was good, Tom Hayden and Austin. We completed 39 hours of training. We currently have 2 current spots open. One is in background to the psychological day, the other goes later this week. And we have to have those positions filled within the have to be. Any questions?
Council? Questions, comments?
Thanks,
sir. Next up, we will have City Administrator Mike Walker, who will also speak on Public Works.
Mayor, Council, Public Works, they carry out 190 service orders, 6 new meters were set, 80 meter leaks were repaired, pothole patching using 3 tons of product, 6 water main leaks were repaired, 15 disconnections and move-outs, mowing hours were 20, and that does not include our part-time mower, Kevin Wilson. 1 sewer main backup, 108 hours of well sampling and reporting, 8 hours assists with water leaks, 6 hours assists with locating, 12 hours assists with sewer issues for flows, received quotes for tank inspections, chlorine burn was completed and have been converted back to chloramine, which is already in progress, and they continue daily flushings and continue to aid in the conversion.
Council, questions on Public Works or comments?
I don't have the city secretary report, so we'll move on. Residential developments, under development agreement, plan development, we have Noble Ridge, 171 homes, and they're getting towards the end of that as far as completed or under construction. Noble Ridge 1B, 177 homes, of which 272, actually more than that now, roughly about 80 have been completed or under construction. Ponderosa Point is something we'll be bringing to you for an update of the PD. They have changed their concept plan. We still have continuous conversations with them. We'll be having a final plat at the next meeting for the NRP group. Hilltop Ranch, 1,376 homes, $4 million budgeted for 2 concrete lanes toward the center on Blythe Road. Everyone will be excited about that. Connections Park, ready to sign the park over to us. This is on the agenda, and I have to commend Mr. Ballard and their board for producing an outstanding park over there. It's one that Howe has previously not had anything like it, and I think it's a masterful place in there, and I appreciate all of them and their hard work. Saddleback, as I understand it, has remaining, and Ken, you can
correct me on this, 91 acres under contract, or is it under contract with the highest acre?
That's closed.
Closed. I can update that now. It has closed, Howe ISD, Talbot Estates. Of course, we approved everything with them. We're holding some COs until the water line gets a loop on East Davis Street. And once I saw them working there today, so hopefully that's about to wrap up, and then we can start approving all the permits for them to start building all of their homes. That's a 65 half-acre lot development. Continued projects, we still continue with Howe Meadows. It's formerly mud over on the west side of Smith Road. They are proposing 762 homes. Centurion American Development Group, that one is 669 homes, as they have purchased phase 2 and 3 in Noble Ridge, and will continue with the mud. And we are in talks again with them. Astor Companies, which is south of Howe High School, connected to Lane Drive. We have PSA with them, working on a development agreement. That's 365 lots. They'll be forming an in-city mud, and we're negotiating towards that development agreement to bring that to you. Possible future developments that we're just starting with, Bennett Road and 902. That's 120 or 180 acres, I can't remember. A big project there, and Cherokee Group Investments have owned property, and they are seeking development at Enlow and Bennett Road, 35 acres. Crazy Meadows, phase 2 will come after phase 1, which has been purchased by Astoria Homes. They're moving very hard for that. As far as commercial, they're being moved to create paths to Taco Bell. Working on easements, I think we have those pretty much ironed out. We'll be recording those pretty soon. 7 acres on Duke Street kind of gone silent. We have heard from them a little bit. KK Building Supply is trying to move in. They've submitted a permit for inspection. They'll have to go through their inspection process through the Bureau of Veritas, just like anybody else. Bain Machinery is ready to start construction. Their Southwest auction on US 75, a conversation with them this week. And the medical office has contacted us about a specific location requiring about pavement variance. So I can see that coming in front of you at some point in the near future. Our ordinance states that you have to have, according to the size of the building per square foot, there are going to be 14 parking spaces. 14.3, which means 15 parking spaces. Currently, there's 5. So we'll be discussing that at great length. The EDC is set to close on 119 East Henry Street on May 1st, assuming that date holds. Retail development projects been submitted at the corner of Aubrey Collins. I told you about that. I haven't heard from them in a while. As far as streets, construction on Farmington Road and both ends have been completed. Construction of East Old Patterson Road has somewhat begun. They put a rock out there, but that's not the end of it. They're going to completely seal that road. With the one-way service roads, getting Duke Street rebuilt is huge. And so that development found that we negotiated in a certain amount to be able to pay. It's $212,000 in order to repay Duke Street from the service road all the way to the railroad tracks. So we're excited about that and appreciate the council's consideration on those projects. We also have one on Hughes Street. That'll be done later in the summer, that connects from the textile portion all the way to Duke Street. So that's a large section of street that can be repaired or rebuilt as well. And now it's at the library. This is a topic that I get dozens of emails and phone calls a week on Blythe Road. We don't have a resident on that particular road. Most of the people that travel that road are in the ETJ advance team. It has become a necessary thoroughfare because of the construction and one-way service roads. Van Alstine, the city of Van Alstine, Lynn Jones, the city manager, approached me maybe 3 weeks, a month ago to have a discussion about that because he's not getting phone calls because people are learning that it's not our road. We share an I-1 in the center of the road. So yes, we are responsible for the northern half of the road, and they are responsible, or someone is responsible for the southern half of the road. It's not the city half. Whether that be the county, whether that be Van Alstine, I think there's still arm wrestling with that. I'm not sure, but in this particular case, we had a meeting with all parties, and even our developer at Wise Road, and he has initiated the conversation that he would spend up to a quarter of the project, which is the project's $200,000, and he would contribute $52,000. Van Alstine and Grayson County are going to split the south half of the road, and they will each contribute $52,000 to that road. Therefore, that leaves it to us to spend $52,000 to redo that entire street. With that cost, knowing what that is, a mile-long stretch, I think $52,000 is one that is a good situation for us. The long-term effect of that road is probably 7 years, 7 to 10 maybe. But at that time, at least on our northern section, we'll have concrete. So at the end of that, we will no longer spend $1 on Blythe Road and maybe potholes, years from now. But that is a one-time expenditure that we shouldn't have to worry about going forward. Wastewater clog situation in January and February has been resolved. Things are operating as normal now. Public Works crew, as far as water, hasn't had as many leaks, and when I wrote this, was last week, and now they tell me that they had a lot of leaks because of the broadband situation. So, personnel, we are hiring for a city secretary and for a fire chief. The Chamber of Commerce has its 40th annual Founders Day coming up May 2nd from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Learned today that the all interspaces on Main Street are full, so that's exciting. We'll have the Howe Hall of Honor Tuesday, April 28th at 6:30. Kevin Wilson, our mower, and Tim Rose, and Derek Lance, and Jesse Fair will be inducted into the Howe Hall of Honor. I joke about Kevin being a mower. He's an extremely important cog in this community for so many years as superintendent. We will also present the North J. Wallace Citizen of the Year, Jerry Coffey, and Jean Norman Volunteer of the Year Award to Jessica Acevedo, our Business of the Year, NTE Phoenix, and Volunteer Organization of the Year will be Harvey Blessing. Last thing, almost in a hurry. Utilities. I'll go over just the highlights here. The billing. Solid waste was $45,952. Sewer, 1,345 accounts are $94,247.58. And water accounts equal 1,420 for $113,505.84 for a total of the month $253,705.90. Any questions?
Council, questions? Sir. Action item number 1, approve and accept acceptance of the written resignation of City Secretary. On March 26, 2026, City Secretary Michelle Hewitt submitted her resignation due to her being hired by the council. It is a required action by the council to approve her resignation. So, if the council does not have any discussion on this, do I have a motion to accept the resignation of Michelle Hewitt? Ricky makes a motion to accept the resignation. Do I have a second? Second. Eddie makes a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 2, adopt the job description and job posting of city secretary position. After consulting with the city attorney in the situation, it was deemed necessary to go ahead and begin the job posting for the city secretary. This action item ratifies the process. The council does not have any further discussion on this. Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Or to ratify, I should say.
Or to ratify.
All right, so Sean can make a motion to ratify the process. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ed makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 3, discuss, consider, and act upon approving the Howe financial policy requirement for the comprehensive plan for the Park at Howe. To continue with the grant process to update our comprehensive plan, it is required to have this financial policy approved by the council. Does the council wish to discuss this item any further? And if not, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Sean will make that motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ricky makes a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 4, discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing letter of acceptance for Connections Park as is. So the developer has asked for, as Kent Gallagher so graciously spoke about the park, the developer has reached out to the city asking for a letter of acceptance for the Connections Park. As Mr. Lauder mentioned, the park is completed and he is ready for the city to take over the park. And the as-is portion is just really so the council and the public understands that we are accepting the park as is without the splash pad. As Mr. Lauder had mentioned, if the splash pad, if the board that Mr. Lauder has, or the park right now, if they have enough funds, then they will come before the city to take care of that separately. But as of right now, we're just accepting the park without the splash pad. And the reason I want to make a comment on this is because we've got a lot of people, citizens that have said, what about the splash pad? But I think Mr. Lauder has addressed that. So, does the council wish to discuss this item further? The staff does recommend approving this item. Does the council wish to discuss this item any further?
Earlier, I gave you a letter of the acceptance for your review process, and as far as the easement is concerned, that has been recorded, so I would consider this ready to move forward.
So does the council have any discussion on this item? And if not, we have a motion
I'll make the motion to approve.
to accept.
Sure, to accept.
Okay. So Ricky is going to make a motion to approve the letter of acceptance for Connections Park. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ed makes that second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Number 5, discuss, consider, and act upon our local agreement with Grayson County on road improvements for Blythe Road for the amount not to exceed $52,000. City staff from the City of Howe and the City of Van Alstyne, as well as Grayson County Commissioner Josh Marr and Howe developer Paul Homes met for discussion on Blythe Road. The City of Howe is only responsible for the northern half of the road. The City of Van Alstyne and Grayson County have had discussions on which one of them is responsible for the southern half. And in the end, all 4 parties have agreed to try and problem solve. The cost of the road project is $208,000. If the council approves this action item, the City of Howe would pay $52,000, 1/4 of the total cost for the road rebuild with chip and seal from Highway 5 to US 75 service road. The county, City of Van Alstyne, and Howe developer Paul Homes, they have also agreed to pay 1/4 or $52,000 each. We have funds available in capital projects to be able to move forward with this project, and staff does recommend approval. If you do, I don't think this or not, but I'm going to throw this in there, but if you do make a motion to pass, I ask that maybe you make a motion to approve assuming this is what you're gonna do. If you do make a motion to approve, authorize city staff to move funds from the capital project account. So you include that portion. So does the council wish to discuss this item? And if not, somebody can make a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion, we approve, and the transfer of money to
Okay, and authorize city staff to make the transfer. Okay, so it is needed to make the motion that we approve the $52,000 commitment for Black Road and authorize city staff to make the transfer of money. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ricky makes the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed, motion passes. Resolution number 2026-0002, a resolution adopting the water conservation and drought contingency and water emergency response plan for the city of Howe to promote the responsible use of water and to provide for penalties and/or the disconnection of water service for noncompliance with the provisions of the drought contingency and water contingency plan. Number 6, discuss, consider, and act upon resolution number 2026-0002, water conservation and drought contingency. This is a routine item. Every 5 years, we must update our water conservation plan. Previously, the city has adopted the same plan as GTUA, and by approving this resolution, it puts us in compliance with the Texas Water Development Board guidelines. Staff recommends approval. Does the council wish to discuss the item any further? And if not, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Ricky makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sean makes that second, and then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed, motion passes. All right, so now, the city council will convene into closed session pursuant to the provisions of the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code. The city council will convene into executive sessions authorized under the Texas Government Code 551.074 personnel matters to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public a public officer or employee. Texas Government Code 551.071. And items that we're discussing is personnel city secretary. Now, the council will go into executive session, and the time is 7:23 p.m.
No, it's a good case. It's more or less, I mean, you got your,
Oh, yeah.
it's fine, you got it.
That's all right, I'm sure I can do that.
Yeah, you do it.
They bother me, it's not, because we're repetitive, you have to go through, everything's gotta be laid out. So what we're doing is the same way. We do it, that's the work. All right, we need two different ways. Water reserves, like DEA, there's DEA, Border Patrol, and civil agencies across this country. So he was running us and he helps Justin with the rain lot. Justin's not the piece of the rain. Doing some old stuff out in my house and it's in the fucking stuff. Yeah, no, I put him in the city and then also I was trying to let him observe and back in the old days they had a lot of when she gets the one we were headed we got 3 right now. We're all hours apart. I just got back from the energy shelters and there was 1,000 trees up there and there was nothing.
You can do
I've been doing this for the last 7 years. Crazy. Yeah, I did this. I'm tired of loving you. I was actually the vice president. I had about 300 malls and about 2 Allen malls were my malls. It's like yours, and it's like, we had, I did that for about 4 years. Initially, it was more about the also.
You know what it is? It looked like
Right. That's,
she got
so we didn't say more to be a civil service department. That was recruited regular slot. Code enforcement, track service, and
She lives in He goes to that meeting.
they didn't tell me to mine is a great piece of and then, you know, they've done, 83 residents out living in rural connection. And there's a water project investigations. It's every time we surgery.
That, he does like the side beat. I don't remember exactly what the price is, so it's like, it's black computer. Sixty for he does hard. And he's pretty good. He's like, when you get the right time, that's not going to go. It's not going to Sunday for it's something that we need to work the option whatever it is. And it's pretty good. It's not the solid problems. So every time you go by, mowing it around. Sort of last year, we were all on I think that they were all so in the yard, we lost. But I was at a corner, I have a border and across the street field, so there's no increase. And it's just like moving down all of the cars. I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't really service, but I even see it physically. I'm sure by the time you get
And so I got to fill this in some long far language. And about a year
So there's something that exists that can say something. There's some
The council will now begin executive session and return to open session, and the time is 7:46 p.m. Action item number 7, discuss, consider, and act upon any items from executive session. Does the council wish to have discussion or make a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
You gotta remember.
Yeah, I got it. I'll make a motion to approve Katie Lowry for the position of secretary, city secretary, with the agreed salary previously discussed.
Okay. Sean makes a motion to hire Katie Lowry for the city secretary position with the agreed salary previously discussed. Do I have a second? Ricky makes a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None are opposed. Motion passes. Congratulations. If there's no further business to come before this council, this meeting stands adjourned at 7:47 p.m. Thank you all and have a very good night.
But a public sounds like.